What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know that I've been MIA for a little bit, but I am trying to come back. A lot has happened within the month, so I will keep you guys posted once I know more and I get more details and just everything. But as you guys saw in that last video, I did have my baby. He's here, and I know I said that I was going to film a labor and delivery vlog. Anyways, like I said, I was going to do a labor and delivery vlog, but with how everything went, it honestly, I was in so much pain. It went really, really fast, and just everything happened really, really fast. So let's start with, I guess like 2 weeks prior, I went to my OB and she checked me, my midwife, and I was 1 centimeter. Then I've had back labor pain with all of my kids. So that's kind of like what I was having. So fast forward like 2 days from that, I go to the hospital. Yeah. Sissy's at school, babe. 2 days, Saturday, I'm having pain in my back. I go into the hospital, I get checked, and I'm a 3. So I'm like, holy cow, like, within 2 days, I moved like 2 centimeters. I'm 3, and usually, like, things happen really quick for me. I go from a 3 to a 4 really quickly, and that's what happened with my first 2, is I was a 3, and then I moved to a 4 really quick. And so I called my mom, I told her, she bought her tickets, she flew in the next morning, and then all the pain just stopped. Like, nothing happened. So my mom bought tickets for, to be here for 2 weeks. Then, a week later, I go to my OB again, and I'm still a 3. Nothing's changed, still 50% effaced, whatever. I asked if she could, like, sweep my membranes, but I guess they can't do it until, like, you're 39 weeks. So I had to wait an extra week to do that. And so another week goes by, and I am 39 weeks at this point, and she sweeps my membranes, and then all goes from there. So before, like, my 39-week appointment, I was, like, curb walking, eating pineapple, spicy food, Chinese food.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
You did cheers?
Yeah.
I was, like, just basically doing everything, bouncing on a ball, doing this, like, what is it, like, labor-inducing exercises, squatting. I did the evening primrose oil capsule. I didn't do the midwife's brew or the castor oil. I stayed away from that. I did it with her, and I was terrified. So I just stayed away from it. I didn't want to do it again. So I did everything. Back to being 39 weeks. She swept my membranes. I was still a 3. Again, it could have happened within hours, like days, weeks, whatever. She set an induction date for me just in case. So my induction date would have been actually tomorrow. Thankfully, he came at 39 weeks, and I didn't have to wait. Luckily, my mom was able to extend her time, so she extended her trip by a couple more days, which was very, very helpful, especially with the girls. We loved having her here. It was just very helpful. So anyways, back to 39 weeks. She swept my membranes. Then maybe like 4 or 5 hours after that, it was probably... Are you done? Are you done? 4 or 5 hours after, I started having, like, really bad pain, and I guess they were only like 3 to 4 minutes apart. And so,
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome. And so it was just all on my back, felt pressure in my butt, whatever. Again, they told me hospital, they're like, what, baby? Duke, drop it. So this hospital, their like rules are very weird, I guess, because I mean the hospital is very nice. Love the room, loved where we stayed. The labor and delivery room was nice. The postpartum room was really nice. I guess they just don't have enough room, so they send you home if you're not progressing, and you have to be at least like a 5 or a 6, and I was a 4 when I went in like around 1 o'clock. So she sent me home, and she told me that they need to be like 2 to 3 minutes apart, and I have to be at least like a 5 or a 6. And so we came home, we like got food, we sat around, waited for them to get closer. I was bouncing on balls, I was doing squats, we went out walking. Sean came home from work, and it was maybe like 7 o'clock is when I noticed that they started to get like more intense. So then I had the contraction app on my phone, so then I started timing my contractions. Like around 7:30 is when they got a little bit more intense, and so I told Sean we'll wait like another half hour or so, see if this is like the real deal, because at this point it was already 30 minutes. I wanted to wait like another 30 minutes. Maybe like 5 or 10 minutes goes by, and I'm like, I can't handle the pain. At this point I was crying. I never cried with my contractions. Come here and I'll put it on. I've never cried with my contractions, and Sean saw the pain that I was in, so we went ahead. He packed up the car. He pulled up the car to the door and packed up the car and helped me get in. And on the way there, I was like still timing them. The app, was telling me to just go ahead and go in. I don't have to call. At this hospital, you don't have to call before you go in. You just kind of show up. So that's what I did. Got checked, and I was 5 centimeters, and the guy was telling me I had like a very TMI bulgy bag. I guess he could feel my water. And so the same like midwife came in, was just like, all right, like, nice to see you again. I was hoping to see you. Let's get you admitted and send you into a room. Well, they had me walk to the labor and delivery room, which was very weird because I was hoping to be pushed because it hurt. You did it. Because it hurt to walk, but I guess they wanted me to walk and progress even more. I get to my room. They run like some blood tests that they have to do before they can give me my epidural. That was like maybe 5 minutes. The anesthesiologist came in. He gave me my epidural. He said he gave me like a little bit extra just so I don't feel anything, because I think he saw the pain I was in. And I also was crying when he gave me my epidural, which I don't think I've ever cried with either of my other two. But overall, I was in a lot of pain with him. I think that's why he gave me a little bit extra. That happens. They give me like 10 minutes and they check me again. Well, before she checks me, I feel something warm, and I'm like, Sean, I either peed myself or my water broke. So he's like, do you want me to call? Yes. And I'm like, yes, please call. So he calls them, and she comes in and she goes, yeah, your water broke, but you're still a 5. I'm like, okay. Then my nurse, because it wasn't the nurse who checked, it was like a different nurse that checked me. It wasn't my nurse. She comes in and I'm like, yeah, my water broke. She goes, oh, no one told me. And I guess my water broke even more. And so she checks me and she goes, yeah, you're still like at a 5. And then I guess she notices, I was group B strep positive. I don't remember being that with my other two, so I don't know if I was or not. if this was like my first time. But they had to give me antibiotics through my IV, and I also had the arm cuff on the same arm that my IV was, and every time that cuff would go off, my arm would like sting and burn. It hurt so bad. I was crying, and how painful it was in my arm, and like I kept like squeezing my arm and like scratching it. And they said that they could lower the dose, but it's going to take even longer, and that I only needed it for 30 minutes. And I told them that's fine, like I'm just going to try and suck it up. But I was like literally in tears of how much pain I was in. And she gave me an ice pack, kind of helped, but not really. It was very painful.
Mommy.
Yes, babe. And so I guess then she notices that his heart rate was like going down, and yeah. Okay. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to need you to like labor on all fours. But I couldn't move myself because of how like numb I was and could not feel anything, not even my legs. Like they felt so heavy, and like my lower half just felt so heavy. So I had Sean like try and help me, and I had a very hard time turning. And then the midwife comes in, rushing in, and everybody else is like rushing in. Honestly, at this point, everything was kind of like a blur because of I was worried. It was happening really fast. Everyone was yelling at me. All I see is Sean in the corner, doesn't know what to do because of everyone else rushing in and like yelling at me. My midwife checks me and is just like, you're a 9, I need you to flip back over. I flip over and I'm like a 10 in like 3 seconds. They're like yelling at me because I need to push him out because of how fast his heart rate was dropping. And honestly, I probably pushed for like 5 to 10 minutes, if that. It all happened really, really fast. Everything is such a blur. I'm like remembering little bits here and there. I remember just like the pressure of like him coming out, and thank you. And them putting him on my chest, and he was purple, like so purple. Then the midwife is trying to show me my umbilical cord, and she was telling me something about it. Honestly, I wasn't even paying attention. I don't even know what the heck she said. I said it's all a blur. And finally he turns to his color, and I guess he also like pooped inside of me, so that like pediatrician nurse was like there to make sure that he was okay and he didn't like inhale it, which he didn't. So like all of that, like after I get my epidural to the time that I have him is kind of like a blur. I don't know what people were saying to me. All I remember is the nurses and the midwife was yelling at me to push and to like breathe and push and breathe and push and telling me when to push, telling me when to stop. But like everything else in between that, I don't remember. Nothing. Sean was in the corner. He wasn't able to even cut the umbilical cord because of like how fast it all happened. Like I said, he was in the corner. I just felt bad for him, and I think he felt bad for me because he saw like how like in like stress I was in and everything that was going on with him. We were in the hospital. Thank you. We were in the hospital. We were only supposed to be there for 24 hours, but we said we'd stay like an extra day because the time that he was born was very late and we wouldn't get home till like very late. So we said we'd go home the next morning. But then his oxygen levels were kind of low, and so they had to do like a room air test. What? And I guess he failed the first one. Then they had to wait 12 hours after that and do a second one. And he failed the second one. So he's on oxygen. He's been on oxygen for 2 weeks now. Tomorrow we have his 2-week appointment. And hopefully I'm praying that he can get off. Just because of everything that is going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. So we're hoping that he's all good and that he can come off of it, that he doesn't need it anymore. He has like a portable tank, and then we have this like home tank thing. that this company had to like come and drop off is just, at first I was very stressed out just because like I didn't know what I should be doing, how to work this stuff. Luckily, Sean, he knew how to do it. They taught him. But over the few days after he was home, I got comfortable with it, and I got comfortable with the tanks and stuff and how to work everything. So we're all good now. Now we're just hoping and praying that he can come off of it.